Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Rune Words. So today we're going to be looking at a relatively nice low-level rune word, or kind of like mid-tier I suppose, called King's Grace. So King's Grace has a relatively nice amount of enhanced damage on it, as well as demon and undead damage. And as we go over this, you might find a weapon that you would want to use on a lower level character. The rune requirement is not really that high, and honestly, if you found the right base, it could be a very impressive weapon for you. We have the Amn Ral Thul. So King's Grace is Amn Ral Thul. And the only really rune in there that is, I guess, kind of rare around level 25 is the Am rune, because a lot of people are trying to use them in their spirit shields at this particular time period. It will be a little bit difficult to find a good base for this. It is capable of being made in swords and scepters, but I feel like the scepter is really the big hit here. The level requirement of level 25 isn't too bad, and honestly, it's probably just about the right place for a weapon like this, because the 100% enhanced damage would taper out more toward the end of Nightmare, and this weapon will become, outclassed. We have a very nice 100% enhanced damage, which is static, by the way, so it will always be 100% enhanced. We get 150 to attack rating, which is also static, which is freaking awesome. So we've got two very nice bonuses right off the bat, which will increase the damage of your sword or scepter. We also have 100% damaged demons, which is going to be added as a sort of an off weapon damage, very similar to the way that might works, and 100 bonus to attack rating versus demons. So we've got a total of 250 attack rating against demons here, which is nice. We also have 100% bonus damage to Undead, which unfortunately this rune word is actually only 50% damage to Undead, and it stacks with the base 50% on the Scepter, which also makes you think they intended you to use this on a Scepter. But you can put it on a sword, and if you do put it on a sword, it's only going to be 50% damage to Undead, so keep that in mind. We also get 100 attack rating to Undead, which is static, and we get 5 to 30 fire damage, which of course comes from the Ral rune, and 3 to 14 cold damage, which of course comes from the Thul rune. It's always nice to have a little bit of cold damage as a melee character. We also get 7% lifesteal, which is going to work relatively awesome considering all the enhanced damage and attack rating bonuses that we have, because quite honestly, the more damage that we do, the more life we return, which is very, very nice. And we also have the innate bonuses on the scepters. So what we have to do is we have to go look and see real quick, like what kind of bonuses could you possibly get on scepters? Let's go to good old Drognin and let's take a look at him. And I want you guys to see the various possibilities of you finding scepters on the ground and what kind of effects they could potentially have. As you can see here, we've got Blessed Hammer, we've got Conversion, Holy Shock, we've got 3 to Meditation, 2 to Conversion. Mine in particular has +3 Meditation, +1 Holy Freeze, +1 Blessed Hammer. So I now have the Meditation skill, which I did not otherwise already have. And this is also bonus. You can also get your bonus skills in there too, so your plus to skills will affect it. So the item has +3, but I'm at level 8. So very nice. I got +5 skills to that. Now, what you would be looking for a base is something that you don't necessarily want to build, or something that you want to build really, really high. So like for instance, if I was to find this with +3 cleansing or +3 meditation, those are pretty good options, just so that I can grab meditation early on as a paladin without actually having to build points down the tree to get it. Same thing with redemption. You could find one with +3 redemption on it, which would be pretty cool. You could also find one that had vigor. All of these utility auras that most people don't want to actually build down and waste their points on are still actually nice to have, and so having a weapon with that kind of damage on it would be nice. We also have various other auras, like you could find one with concentration, you could find one with might, you could find one with fanaticism. You can also find it with +3 zeal. So in a really ideal level 25 King's Grace, if you could ever find it, would be something like +3 zeal, like +3 fanaticism, and then maybe maybe a utility aura at that point. You could find, something like maybe cleansing or meditation or vigor or something like that on there, or maybe even if you could find one that has holy shield. I'm not really even sure if holy shield rolls on scepters. I haven't seen it before. You could find something that has the specific stats you want, and this would make a relatively nice low level, or rather mid-level melee weapon. This kind of melee weapon actually does you really well at the end of normal difficulty and the beginning of Nightmare. And it's going to be really, really nice when you hit Act 2 Nightmare with all the undead. The demon damage bonus is also going to be very nice with killing the act bosses, because as you know, all of the act bosses are demons. You can also stack this with other demon damage items, like for instance, I'm pretty sure Laying of Hands actually is around the same level as this, with a rather large damage to demons. Let me just double check this. And Laying of Hands is it's level 63. My bad. So not a good choice there for demon damage with that, because those would definitely be, you would definitely replace King's Grace before you got to the Laying of Hands. I mean, all in all, what I see this being useful for is a low-level paladin, or maybe even a low-level barbarian or a druid, who's leveling up a character specifically for, like ladder or solo self-found or something like that, and you didn't really have any other better option. And if you found a 3-socket scepter, a war scepter, a grand scepter, or perhaps even one of the nightmare scepters might be a better choice. Like for instance, let me look up the nightmare scepters real quick. So war scepter D2, and then we look at the bases. So a divine scepter, which is the nightmare version, could be a very good choice for this, because it is level 25 exactly, so it's the same level as the rune word. So if you were to be looking for like the perfect King's Grace base, you would probably be looking for a divine scepter with 3 sockets, of course, with the right plus to skills, and that would yield you a relatively amazing weapon for nightmare difficulty. And then once you start to get to the end of nightmare difficulty, you're probably going to have to replace this. All in all, I really think it's a cool rune word specifically for paladins. It could be useful for other characters as well. The enhanced damage and the damage to demons and damage to undead would certainly still be useful for a lore, like a barbarian or a druid, or maybe even a I'm trying to think, like off the top of my head, what other characters could really get some use out of this. Amazons can't use scepters and swords. They get a huge penalty to their block chance. Barbarians, of course, could use it. Paladins could use it. Of course, they would put it in a scepter. I'm trying to think specifically about who could use the sword. I mean, even the druid probably would use it in a scepter, because it's probably the better choice. I feel like overall this is just it's kind of made for a scepter. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when they are on low-level items like King's Grace. And as always, keep watching.